Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share a really fun card using some Spellbinders dies and a couple sentiments from Crafter's Companion. It's kind of a TriFold card, opens up like that, create this nice little scene. Not fun? It's really easy to make. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, so to start, I've got just a 5x7 sheet of white card, and my background paper is, it was a 6x6. I cut it down to 5x6. This paper is called Sea Wave. It's from, I got it from In Love Arts. Some really cool papers, all 6x6. And that's going to go on my background. And then my two sheets that come around, I've got here. And these are 6 inches wide, and then I just scored 1 inch on each side because I'm going to glue these on here before I put that background paper on. But I've got it here because I want to show you something. So one's going to go on one side, the other's going to go on the other, and I cut one just a little bit short so that when I wrap them on there, they'll both fit exactly on there. So I cut this one a little bit short, and this is 4 inches high, and this one is 3 inches high. And you can see I drew some pencil lines, and the reason I did that is I kind of said, okay, well, if my printed paper is going to go at the top like that, then when I put this on, I marked a line kind of about where the sand and the water is, because I'm going to ink this paper. And I did the same on this side. See, I put a mark right here, and then I just sort of kind of sketched. This one's going to be kind of a cliff, and this is supposed to be sort of the sand like a sandy dune, and I'm just going to cut that with my scissors. And you can do it in any shape you want, but we're just going to kind of come in here. It doesn't have to be exact, just about like that. And then I'm going to erase this one, and that's going to be my sand where the chairs are sitting on. And then this is going to be this is the cliff where the lighthouse is, and then the cliff drops down to the water or the beach. So we're going to kind of do that, and then the cliff is more of a straight up, and then you don't want it exactly, perfectly straight. Okay, just about like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, it's supposed to give you the look of the cliff. Okay, now we're going to do some inking before I glue that on there. So this is my cliff, and I'm going to leave that. It doesn't really matter if it gets ink on that backside because it's going to be glued down anyway, but there's no need to waste ink there. And my cliff side, my cliff pieces are going to be sort of gray and black. And so I'm using the Harmony opaque pigment inks. And I've got a smoked pearl and a twilight gray that I'm going to use for my cliff. And my cliff, these are my cliff pieces that I cut from a Spellbinders die set. And they're going to go on like this because where the lighthouse is going to sit right here. And so I just want that color to kind of blend with those. Okay, so it needs to be a little bit darker. And then this is sort of the water and the beach. And I think I'm going to do water. So let me get some blue. I've got some ocean blue and Oasis I'm going to use. Okay, so there's my first piece that's going to wrap around. And I'm going to glue that. I'm going to glue this part onto this page, just like that. And you can glue this on a wrap around onto the back, but then I don't like the looks of that because then you can see it on the back. And on this kind of a card, I'm probably going to write my message on the back. So if I were to glue it to the back, I would put another, I would sandwich it between another white piece of 5x7 card. I just want to get that on there and even. And there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to let that sit and dry for a minute, and I'm going to do my next piece. Now this piece is where my chairs are going to be sitting. So this is going to be sand. And I'm using this sort of pumice color, mostly. It's kind of a brownish gray. And I thought it matched well with sort of the color of the sand on this paper. Normally I would use more of a, brownish color, but I thought this pumice actually was just about right. So this piece is going to glue on the other side just the same way that I did this piece. Just like that. And now I need a strip that's going to go across the bottom. So for the piece that's going to go across the bottom, it's going to be my sand. So I just started with a piece of kind of a creamy colored cardstock. I'm just going to ink blend on there. So I want it to blend in with this color. And now before I put that on there, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on there. Clean up my mess. And I've got some sentiments from the Crafter's Companion Seize the Day collection. And I'm going to use Never Stop Exploring. And you can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. I'm going to use both of those. Okay, so now I'm going to glue my backing paper down right there. And then I'm going to put this over the top of that. And now it's just about decorating. For all my decorations, I use dies from Spellbinders. So I start with my lighthouse die, which has the 2 cliff faces in it. And I'm going to put the one here, and I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm going to put the other one here, sort of on top of it. Like that. Then I'm going to put my lighthouse right on top of there. And we're just going to glue it to the bottom. And this is several layers of cardstock, so it'll be sturdy enough. But it's going to sit on that cliff face, just like that. Okay. So there's my lighthouse on the cliff. Then I've got 2 little beach chairs. And the beach chairs are also a Spellbinders die from the Summertime Vacay, which was the large die of the month from June of 2024. And I'm going to put my 2 little beach chairs in the front. Like that. And then when we open it up, I've got my little sailboat that's going to go in here. The sailboat's also a Spellbinders die called Set Sail. And I want to get that on there so that you can see it when it's closed. So it's going to be like that. And there we go. We're all done. So the scene looks like that when it's closed, and then we can open, and you get the boat in the back. I love that. So fun. It's a fun way to use a bunch of your different scene dies all together. Hope you like that. Thanks for watching.